Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever time you find yourself listening to Hannah's Shenanigans. I'm happy to be here and to be sharing the last episode of our Solitude season series. And I'll be talking today about moving from solitude to society. You would have gone through your retreat by this time and feeling refreshed and recharged, and you have to go back into a crazy, chaotic world. How do you do that? So, I will be looking at how to face this big, scary world, or scary, big world, um, and how do you manage your euphoria? Because you're going to have what I call retreat euphoria. And then how do you then blend or find a new community or go to an old community, all those sort of things. And finally, after doing retreat and spending time in the beauty of solitude, how do you give yourself? What of yourself do you give? Right, so we're going to talk about the big scary world, which I'm sure at some point you were told the world is bigger than you think when you were younger. And when you grow up, sometimes you say, oh, it's such a small world. But at the same time, the world can prove to be big and it can be overwhelming. It can be noisy, busy, fast. It gets to a point of just being overwhelming. But let's say you've gone for a retreat. One of the biggest things that you're going to realize is that the world is big. It's no longer just you in a comfortable tent or, good lodging. You now have to face what they call reality. Don't ever think that your experience of retreat is not reality. That's another part of reality. The calm side, it's not to be taken for granted. But now, when you move from that peaceful bubble where you might feel safe, your thoughts are your own, you've gotten used to doing things your own way, you have to actually face this big, scary world. How do you look at it? What do you see? And how do you then choose what to associate with and what not to? And it's quite important to take that time during your solitude season to decide that when I go back or when you go back, these are the things that you're going to continue with. These are the things you're going to change, or these are the things you're probably just going to discard for life. And retreat euphoria tends to be something that you might want to hold on to forever. And this means that when you get back, you might actually even feel like a fish out of water. You may not want to associate yourself with people. Be careful about that retreat euphoria where you then continue on your retreat even though you are back with people. And it's good, but remember the retreat is for you to recharge so that you can become effective, productive, more of the best of you and less of the worst. And people will notice, people will comment and compliment you on your glowing skin, on your new demeanor, on how you carry yourself better. Because you would have gone into a time of solitude, and clearing your head, listening to your creator has a way of making you see the world anew and therefore treating it as if it is new. Just like how kids are fascinated with everything because, hey, for little children, a whole lot of everything is new. So, from that euphoria, what I really recommend most of the time is if you can join a community. So, for example, I'm part of the Friends Society, the Religious Society of Friends, also known as Quakers. I was very fortunate to meet someone who lived the lifestyle of Quakers, who was calm. He was just like a shining star, quietly shining star. He was not loud about it. And it was just amazing to behold. And I wanted to be part of that community that gave him a center because I needed also a center. And Once I was part of that community, I knew I felt home. So whatever makes you feel like home. The other part, the other community that I've had for the past few years has been Toastmasters. So yes, we do public speaking and all that, but it also gives me a reason to be outside the house and do other things, to meet new people, to accomplish goals. It gives me purpose. It gave me purpose. So it's very, I would really strongly recommend if you don't have community right now, well, you could always contact me after this. I'll give my details, get me my email, or even just go on the website and contact me because it's important to get community that gets you. And sometimes you can even create communities. I am known for creating book clubs. I like readers because they're different from me and some of them are the same, but it always is more interesting for me to have conversation with people who read. And that's my part. I'm part of reading communities. And then, other than just joining a whole set of people who you do things the same, I think it's also very important to be able to give of yourself freely. And it doesn't have to be to a lot of people. Because remember, when you go on retreat, you're probably going on an empty cup. So the retreat helps in filling your cup, and sometimes your cup overflows. But that's not, you shouldn't always just give surplus. Just what do you have in your cup and how are you able to refill it? So sometimes it's not only by going on a solitude journey on a retreat for a weekend that you can fill your cup. No, those events might overflow your cup, but what do you do on a day-to-day basis? You cannot pour into a cup that's already full. So you must give. You must give of yourself. Whatever that you can give, don't give what you see your neighbor, your brother, your sister, your parents giving. Give what you have and find people that you can help or you can just be with. And it's not about volunteering, wearing a white t-shirt written volunteer and going to help old people or young people. No, you probably have people in your circle who are close to you right now who need somebody. They might need money. Yes, it's true. You might be able to give them $20. They might need someone to cook a meal for them. They might just need presence, someone to sit down with them, hold their hand and listen, whether it's listening to silence or listening to words that they're expressing, whatever they might require. You put yourself aside. And guess what? In giving, you also develop something. You find yourself. And you find that when you give, you make room for new things. And whenever we help other people, we always think, oh, yeah, I went and I helped this old lady. There's probably something of significance that people will also give in return. So I would really encourage you as you are moving now from solitude to society. Take those aspects into consideration, being part of community, giving freely of yourself, and just enjoying the euphoria of of the retreat, of silence, of solitude, and become part of the world. Yes, you don't have to participate in everything. The beauty of doing retreats and getting away is that you then recognize where you should be, where you don't need to be anymore, or where you just need to be for a while and withdraw. And I really hope sincerely that as you go through this journey, of discovery, of self-discovery, of becoming more confident, whatever is going through your life, that you might find someone to give you a big hug, squeezing hug there. And with each message that I share,